Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video on keeping it mommy real. And I don't know what days I'm going to be doing it, but today's Friday, so maybe every Friday I'll talk about keeping it mommy real. So I just asked you guys to ask me some questions about being a mom and, just being truthful about how hard it really is. This is just my thing and how I've handled it or how I've experienced it. So I want to get into first pregnancy and being pregnant. So my first trimester, I was very sick. I knew I was pregnant before even taking a test. But when I did take a test, it came out negative. I was just so shocked and didn't know what was going on. I would cry all the time, but I knew something was up. So I made a doctor's appointment, hidden from everybody, and I went in by myself, expecting to be native and just, get it out of my head that I wasn't having a baby. But being there alone, and I wish I would have taken my husband with me or my mom, but I was scared and I just wanted to know if I was overreacting or, what was going on with me. So I took the test in the clinic, and about 5 minutes later, the lady comes in and says, "You're 5 weeks and 2 days pregnant." And at that moment, I just cried, and she asked if I was okay, if I needed anybody. And no, I just knew it, and everybody did not believe me at all. But after finding out, I went straight home, told my husband, told my parents, and everybody was happy. Everybody had that feeling. They already knew I was pregnant, but they didn't think so. I was gaining weight. I would cry a lot. There was things I couldn't explain, why things were happening, why I was feeling a certain way. Couldn't sleep. But after finding out, everything was like, okay, this is why. And it's happening. So at that moment, I had to put myself together and, well, deal with it, I guess. And take it in and just prepare myself. So for my first trimester of being pregnant, I was very sick. I had just started a new job. I had been at a new house for about 4 months. I was alone without my family, just me and my husband. And it was hard. I would cry all the time for nothing at all. Little minimal things of what I wanted to eat or how just my day was gonna be. It was hard. I was not able to eat anything. I would puke everything I would put in my mouth, whether it was just a pancake or, things I would eat all the time. I couldn't have them anymore. It was just surreal. On top of not keeping any food down, I couldn't drink anything. I would just puke. All the time I was just puking. And I ended up in the hospital for being dehydrated. And I was put on 2-week bed rest. After my 2 weeks, I felt better, but not good to go back to work. So I lost my job. And I was staying home all the time now. I just had to keep myself motivated and going and seeing what I could keep down and what I could eat, and it was just top ramen. Top ramen and cup of noodles was the only thing my child liked, and it had to be spicy, super, super spicy. I craved popcorn and mangoes, fruits, no food, just snacks all the time, and that's the only thing I could keep down. my second trimester got better, and I could eat now the things I was able to before. You know, there was a lot of things that I did crave, and I had my mom make me that I couldn't. Like, I love birria. I love it. She made it for me 2 times out of my pregnancy when I would just puke. I was like, no, Mom, I'm not eating this. It just smells nasty. It tastes nasty. And that was one of my favorite foods my kid did not like while in my stomach. But yeah, I felt better. My third trimester, I was tired all the time. And I guess it's normal because you have a human being growing inside of you. Well, I guess I forgot to tell you guys. I was having a boy. I found out my second trimester, 21 weeks in, that I was having a little boy, which I already knew. And this little boy was big, and I was all stomach. You know, I gained weight, but nowhere else, just my stomach was growing, and it felt horrible. Not in a bad way, but just having your stomach grow where you can't walk, where you can't even lay in bed comfortably nor sleep at all, sucked. But, you know, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love my son. Third trimester too, I was really sad. I didn't like being home. I didn't like being alone because we had moved out to a new apartment. Me and my husband did, to start a family. We got something bigger, and it was horrible. It was hard, and I think it was just a lot for me, to the point where I would go with my husband to work, and he would drop all the seats in our truck and make a bed for me so I could sleep there. He would leave at 5 in the morning, so I would be there till around 9 sleeping. Then I would wake up, have lunch with him, and go in his work and sit there, just watch him work all day long. Then would go home because I just felt really sad all the time. Nesting is something that every mom gets once they're ready for the baby, whether it's just folding the baby's clothes or looking through their stuff or making sure that everything is where it needs to be, or that you have everything you need. Like my hospital bag, I remember packing so many things that I needed and that I wanted to wear after I had baby, or what I wanted him to wear, his going home outfit, you know, make sure I had diapers, wipes, just every essential I would possibly need that I did not take to the hospital. I forgot the bag while we were out and about when labor hit, and I forgot the bag. But we had a room for my son, and I remember setting up his crib, setting up his dresser, and just where all his clothes were gonna go. I remember hanging every single one piece of clothing I had in his closet, you know, putting some toys up. We had books. I loved it, and it was just something, you know, you did every day before baby came. Birth and delivery, like I had said, we were out and about when labor hit. So it was around 1 o'clock when I felt really bad sharp pains that I had felt before, and I went in for like 5 false alarms, and but this one felt real. This one felt different. I was in pain. I was crying, but I was also scared. Like, what if we go to the hospital and I'm not dilated enough and they sent me home? That will make me feel even worse. But it was a Saturday. I was supposed to be induced Sunday. So Saturday was the 10th. I was supposed to be induced Sunday the 11th, but I had gotten a call that I was not going to be induced till the 12th on a Monday. So that made me really upset, and I think that's what started my labor. It was that I was walking a lot, that I was really active to keep my mind from having to be induced and having them push it out so far from my original date. So I remember walking all around my apartment, When my husband got home from work, we were going to go to Costco, get some things we needed, get some food, but I remember that couldn't happen. We had to stop for gas, and while he was pumping, I was in pain. When he got in the car, I was like, we need to go to the hospital now. So it's about 1:30. We got to the hospital. They had no rooms available for them to check to see if I was dilated or even in labor. I had to wait about 10 minutes for them to get me a clean room. And by the time I went in, I wasn't even there for 2 seconds. She had me undressed. She checked me, see if I was dilated. I was 5, and she had me rushed to a room because I was being admitted that minute. So after that, I had him get in contact with his mom and let people know that I was in labor. And gosh, there was so many people in labor. So if you're going to go through labor, make sure you know who's going to be in the delivery room and have people respect that, because I had so many people in my delivery room that I was in so much pain I couldn't say, hey, I want everybody out. I only wanted my mom, his mom, and my son's father. That did not happen. I had like 6 people in my room plus nurses, and it was hard. But there was nothing I can do than just deliver a baby. That's what I was there for. So I was in labor a long time. I didn't have him till 10:35 p.m. And it wasn't that I was dilating enough, so I think that's what took the longest, dilating. So I was in and out of a hot tub every 45 minutes. They would check me, but I was stuck at a 7. I would not go past a 7, and they had me get dressed and go walk around. I did not even do a half loop when they were like, you look like you're ready to push. So they had brought me back into the room. She checked me to see if I was dilating more. When she did that, she had got back in the room. She checked me to see if I was dilated, and she broke my water. So at that moment, she did not let me get out of bed or nor go back into the hot tub. She just had me lay in bed and open up more. And the crazy thing, my husband wasn't even in the room with me. He had taken his mom back to our apartment so she could rest, because she lives at the beach, so she came a far way out just to see her grandson be born. And I remember calling him like, my water broke, you need to be here. And all of a sudden he tells me, our apartments are on fire. And I just freaked. What do you mean the apartments are on fire? Like, that's my house and da da da. But it wasn't even our house. It was quite far, but it's still scary, you know, because all the apartments could catch on fire, and it could have been all bad. And while I was in the hospital delivering our kid, so I was like, you know, you're not a fireman, you're not a police officer, like, you need to come to the hospital and see this kid be born. So he rushed back with his mom as well. And a little bit after he got there, I was dilating more and more. And within an hour, I was ready to push, and I did 3 pushes, and this 8.5-pound baby came out. He was 22.5 inches long and just huge kid. I didn't imagine it. I'm only 4'11". At the time, I was only 125 pounds, and that's a lot for me. 125 pounds is a lot of weight for me, being only so small. And I was all stomach after I had him. My stomach was flat. I was, you know, I felt back to normal, but just with this baby. I have my son sleeping right here. We're in our room, and he's sleeping, so, you know, I decided to do this quick video. And yeah. So if you guys do like these type of videos, I do want to do one. We'll do one every Friday, keeping it mommy real. And if you guys do like it, send me more questions. Let me know what you guys want to know about my son. And yeah, I'll keep at it. Subscribe.